What really happened at Roswell? Let's find out. In the annals, what? Bro, I swear, whoever writes these articles, man, you're hilarious. It says in the, I can't, how do you even read that? The annals, ANNALS, the annals of American UFO history. In the annals of American UFO history, few incidents have inspired as much fascination and speculation as the one in Roswell, New Mexico. It began in the summer of 1947 at the dawn of the Cold War when the U.S. Army Air Forces sent out a shocker of a press release announcing they'd recovered a flying disc, in quotes, from a ranch near Roswell. More than 70 years later, the incident remains a defining aspect of the area's identity. The town boasts a UFO museum and research center, a flying saucer-inspired McDonald's. Okay. Is Ronald McDonald, is it yellow? I want to know if the UFO is yellow and red. And it's got Ronald McDonald's face on it. Alien-themed streetlights. Ooh, I've never seen that. That's cool. Even an extraterrestrial family stranded in a broken-down UFO on the side of State Route 285 looking for a jump start. God damn, I love that. How dope is that? More places should be like that. Should have embraced UFO culture. Should have some dope UFOs. I want to know, where is the UFO nightclub? Where's the alien-themed UFO space nightclub in New York, Pennsylvania, Miami? Where's it at? If I had the bread and the dough, somebody sponsor me. Give me $500,000 or whatever it costs. Let me build a nightclub that's UFO inspired, alien inspired. Yeah, like a $500,000 or $1 million. We can build something insane. And new ones are still emerging. Here are the agreed upon facts about the Roswell crash. Sometime between mid-June and early July 1947, rancher W. Mac Brazel found wreckage on his sizable property in Lincoln County, New Mexico, approximately 75 miles north of Roswell. Lost my place. North of Roswell. Several flying disc and flying saucer, in quotes, stories had already appeared in the national press that summer, leading Brazel to believe the wreckage, which included rubber strips, tinfoil, and thick paper, might be something of that ilk. Ilk? Is that a word? He brought, those are weird objects. Don't you agree? Those sound man-made, like it's some kind of weird balloon, if these are in fact the actual things that they found. Rubber strips, tinfoil, and thick paper? Is that all you found, though? That's so weird. There's got to be more. They had to have found more than that. 100%. Which included rubber okay, well, what else did you find? What, any bodies? Is some kind of engine? Some kind of other pieces? Something metallic? Some kind of propulsion system? Like, it can't just be thick paper, tinfoil, and rubber strips. What are you talking about? He brought some of the material to Sheriff George. Yeah, what'd you do with the rest of the material? To Sheriff George Wilcox of Roswell, who in turn brought it to the attention of Colonel William Blanchard, the commanding officer of the Roswell Army Field. And that's the RAAF, Roswell Army Airfield. Okay, cool. The next day, RAAF, released a statement writing that, in quotes, Many rumors regarding the flying disc became a reality yesterday when the intelligence office of the 509th Bomb Group of the 8th Air Force, Roswell Army Airfield, bro, what? was fortunate enough to gain possession of a disc through the cooperation of one of the local ranchers and the sheriff's office of Chavez County. Or is it Chaves? I want to say Chavez. Sounds cooler. According to that statement, Major Jesse Marcel, an intelligence officer, oversaw the RAF's investigation of the crash site and the recovered materials. The government changed its story about Roswell saucer a few times. Why would they do that? Why would they change it a few times? Why would they change it at all? The following day, the Roswell Daily Record ran a story about the crash and the RAF's astonishing claim, but U.S. Army officials quickly reversed themselves on the flying saucer, in quotes, claim, stating that the found debris was actually from a weather balloon, releasing photographs of Major Marcel posing with pieces of the supposed weather balloon debris as proof. And the title of the newspaper article, Disc Craze Continues. And this is the same newspaper clipping that I have on my board back here. Army, wow, play on words. Army Disc, DISK-OUNTS. Army discounts New Mexico find as weather gear. Bro, I don't know. I don't know why come out initially and say it's a saucer, it's a flying disc, and then say it's weather gear, it's a weather balloon. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know, man. So this photograph is a photograph of Jesse Marcel, the head intelligence officer who initially investigated and recovered some of the debris from the Roswell site in the Corsicana Daily Sun, July 9th, 1947. For decades, actually, drop it down in the comments. Do you smell a conspiracy? Do you smell a cover-up? For decades, many UFO researchers were skeptical of the government's changed account, and in 1994, the U.S. Air Force released a report in which they conceded that the weather balloon, in quotes, story had been bogus. According to the 1994 explanation, the wreckage came from a spy device created for an, until then classified project called Project Mogul. The device, a connected string of high-altitude balloons equipped. Man, how far has technology come that back then a spy device was a gigantic-ass balloon, a bunch of balloons equipped with microphones. That's like that sticks out like a sore thumb in the sky. And now you could have, they make like microscopic flies that they can control, and they have microphones on them. Equipped with microphones, was designed to float furtively over the USSR, detecting sound waves at a stealth distance. These balloons would ostensibly monitor the Soviet government's attempts at testing their own atomic bomb. Because Project Mogul was a covert operation, the new report claimed a false explanation of the crash was necessary to prevent giving away details of their spy work. Interesting. I guess that could be real and plausible. Other elements of the Roswell story, namely that some eyewitnesses claimed that there were alien bodies taken from the site, were explained as fallen parachute test dummies in a more extensive follow-up report in 1997. Bro, how do you not know the difference between alien bodies and test dummies? I don't know, man. I don't know what to believe. It's fishy. It's weird. Doesn't make sense. Roger Lanius Lanius, I don't know, a historian and retired curator for the Division of Space History at the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum, says those two reports close most of the remaining questions about Roswell. In quotes, this story has been resolved. Lanius says, in quotes, has absolutely every question been answered? I can't say that, but I'm not sure that there are significant holes. Oh, yeah? In quotes, you do not divulge state secrets in the context of national security. My surmise is they probably saw the initial flying saucer explanation as a useful cover story. Donald Schmidt, a U.S. researcher who has spent nearly 3 decades investigating the Roswell incident and is the co-founder of the International UFO Museum and Research Center in Roswell, says that explanation makes little sense. The flying saucer, in quotes, story, he contends, was so ostentatious that it was bound to draw attention to the area, which, okay, the sentence just ends there. And given sensitive military operations at the time, that would seem highly counter to the interests of the War Department. The War Department, damn. In quotes, 2 hours west of Roswell, the first atomic bomb was detonated. You had ongoing atomic research at Los Alamos, Bob Lazar. You had all this testing of captured German V-2 rockets at White Sands, and at Roswell, you had the first atomic bomb squadron headquartered, Schmidt says. The thought that they would have intentionally set up any type of publicity as a distraction, ? If anything, they needed less attention. Okay, maybe they needed less attention, but they got more attention. There's more to the article I'll read in a second. I just gotta wet my whistle with a little bit of this espresso. So yeah, what do you guys think so far? Roswell cover up, or was it just a weather balloon? Want to know what I think? I'm going to go out on a tentacle and say that they probably recovered an alien craft. But I think it's also possible that it was just a weather balloon and that they were dumb as shit and couldn't tell the difference between an alien craft and a weather balloon. Or maybe they did want more attention, but apparently they wanted less attention. So I don't know, man. If you comprehend the article better than me, drop it down in the comments. Give me your analysis of, what you think really is going on logically from the facts. It's hard to say what is fact or fiction here, but if anyone has a really good description of their opinion of the Roswell, New Mexico crash, and if it's really good, I'll read it on the next podcast. So drop it in the comments, DM me, whatever you want to do. But let me know your take on this. Was Roswell's UFO from the USSR? Another questionable theory advanced by the book Area 51, An Uncensored History of America's Top Secret Military Base, states that the crashed flying vehicle was neither extraterrestrial nor the work of U.S. spies. Excuse me. Rather, it was an unconventional And you know me, my alien babies. I love unconventional stuff. It was an unconventional plan to induce a widespread American panic implemented by the Soviet strongman Joseph Stalin. Whoa. An unmanned source, an unnamed source who worked as an engineer at Area 51 for the defense contractor EG&G told the book's author Annie Jacobson, a veteran national security journalist and Pulitzer Prize nominee, that the program had been designed by Nazi concentration camp Dr. Joseph Mengele. According to the source, adolescent children were deformed by the Soviets to resemble aliens and then deployed in an aircraft to fly over New Mexico. Bro, what do you mean deformed? Adolescent children were deformed? How? In what way? According to this book, Stalin's plan was for the children to climb out and be mistaken for visitors from Mars. Dude, I hope that's not true. That's horrible. Why would you do that to somebody? You're going to deform adolescent children to make them look like aliens? Yo, there's something wrong with you. Panic would ensue. At least put a costume on them. Like, come on. You don't have to do all that. And America's early warning radar system would be overwhelmed with sightings of other UFOs. Bro, I really hope they didn't do that to kids. This is a sick world, man. Like, straight up, what is wrong with humans? This is why, this is a great example of why I claim to be an alien. Because of stuff like this that humans do. Like, come on, man. We're better than that. Aren't we? Aren't we better than that? I would hope so. That theory could go some way in explaining the wreckage described by Jesse Marcel Jr., the son of the intelligence officer named in the initial press report. According to Marcel Jr.'s book, The Roswell Legacy, his father brought some of the UFO wreckage home, allowing his son to handle the debated debris before he took it to the base. Wow. So some kid was allowed to handle the debris from a supposed UFO. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Marcel Jr. wrote that the material was metallic and I could see what looked like writing. At first I thought of Egyptian hieroglyphics, but there was no animal outlines or figures. They weren't mathematical figures either. They were more like geometric symbols, squares, circles, triangles, pyramids, and the like. Marcel Jr. was 11 years old at the time. Okay, so you gave an 11-year-old alleged UFO wreckage material to mess around with and play with. Cool, man. Was 11 years old at the time. The Cold War was just beginning, and the young boy... beginning. Could the young boy have been reading the Cyrillic alphabet for the first time, allowing his imagination to do the rest? For sure. I mean, he's 11 years old, you know? On this, Schmidt and Lanius agree it's not likely. There's no evidence in any Soviet archives that there were such experiments as this, says Lanius. And if the intent was to generate panic, it failed utterly miserably. Interesting. What do you guys think? Drop it down in the comments. Man, I really hope they didn't deform that kid, man. That'd be horrible.